Rachel Smith was running with her beloved Labrador on the outskirts of Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, USA, when she heard a strange noise. Her dog started tugging nervously on the leash, and a strange feeling came over her. She felt like she was being watched. Suddenly, a black shadow came running toward her at an enormous speed, and she got the shock of her life due to this detail. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. The dog, named Cooper, is a Labrador Retriever. He is a sweetheart of a dog who gets along well with the kids of the Smith family. Rachel loves going on hikes with Cooper in the vast Yellowstone area. It is often advised to never enter the park alone. If only she had listened to this. The Smith family is a typical American family. They always say that there are 7 of them, as Cooper is also counted as a full family member. The children also like to go on walks with him, although Lauren, the daughter, no longer likes to do that now. The last time that she went for a walk with him, a terrible thing happened. Lauren was walking through the neighborhood when an aggressive stray dog came running toward them. He targeted Cooper and attacked him. Poor Cooper, who is not at all aggressive by nature, stood no chance. Lauren cried out in panic, but luckily, someone came running and chased the beast away. Cooper was covered in wounds. When Lauren finally calmed down, she saw the damage done to Cooper. She phoned her mother in a panic, who then contacted the animal hospital. Cooper was so badly battered that he had to be operated on. The bite wounds of the other dog caused multiple infections. It was a while before Cooper was back to normal. If that wasn't bad enough, the poor dog also developed a fever due to the infections. The Smith family felt so sorry for their dog. The always cheerful Cooper no longer seemed to be happy or smile. Rachel missed the times that she would go out with Cooper. The problem with this whole situation was that the dog still had a great deal of energy, but rest had been advised for an indefinite period. Fortunately, the children cuddled with him enough to at least give him the necessary attention. The Smith family lives in Jackson, Wyoming. It is a small place with about 11,000 inhabitants. They enjoy the expansive environment as they live close to Yellowstone National Park. They consciously chose this area when they moved several years ago, but they never expected to regret it now. The entire family can regularly be found in the national park. Rachel has the most number of trips to the park, as she regularly goes out on her own. The children would like to do this too, but since several dangerous animal species live in the park, Rachel and her husband Tom do not allow them to go to the park unsupervised. One of those dangerous animal species is the wolf. The animal is regularly spotted in the park, and when it shows up in places with many people, a loud alarm is sounded. Although the wolf at first glance looks like a very dangerous animal, it is not the most dangerous animal in the park. You will never believe which animal is. The most dangerous animal in the entire national park is the bison. Besides wolves and bison, wild bears, lynx, and coyotes also roam the park. Basically, you would be wise not to go out alone. One day after a heated argument with Tom, Rachel had to let off some steam and decided to go to the park. Fortunately, Sweet Cooper had now recovered and could accompany Rachel on her tour of the national park. During the walk, several things about the conflict with Tom went through her mind. Why is he away so often? She wondered aloud. The father of my children, seeing another woman? The thoughts that went through her mind were making her upset. She had always been there for him, made sure that everything in the house was clean and tidy, took care of the children, and did the bookkeeping. Cooper felt that she was sad, or so Rachel thought. Or did he sense something different? She had never seen this behavior before. When Cooper started to squeak, Rachel assumed that he knew that she was not doing well. She gave the sweet dog a big hug and acknowledged once again what a great family dog he was. She started walking again, drifting deeper into her own thoughts. Not much later, something dawned on her. Rachel thought that she had been walking her normal lap, but she realized that she hadn't seen the turn that she normally took. She decided to walk a little farther, hoping to find the right path. But when she came across overgrown paths and had no connection on her phone, panic struck. As if the whole situation was not bad enough, it was starting to get dark. The twilight coupled with the howl of several wolves sent shivers all over Rachel's body. Luckily, she was with Cooper, but then, when he did this action, she didn't know what to do. Cooper sat down and refused to move. It seemed as if he didn't want to walk any farther. When she walked up to him, she saw that he was shaking. She had never seen this before. Just as she was about to give up hope, she heard someone yelling in the distance. On the one hand, she was happy to hear a sign from someone nearby, but on the other hand, she was frightened because the yell had sounded rather panicky. What was she supposed to do? She took the plunge and decided to walk in the direction that the sound was coming from, but she wasn't sure she was going the right way. After walking for a while, she thought that she was close to where the noise had been coming from. However, she came out in an open space where there was only stuff like an old gym shoe. Something inside told her to call for help, but she didn't dare. If only she had. After pausing in the clearing, she decided to walk on. Her circumstances wouldn't improve by standing still. What's more, it wouldn't be long before it got completely dark, and she still had no idea where she was. Her stomach also started to growl, as she hadn't eaten for a while. Rachel had no sense of direction and still no telephone connection. Suddenly, something came to mind. She had her grandfather's inherited compass in her bag. She knew that she had to go west, so she started walking in that direction. How far had she and Cooper strayed from the route? After walking for a while, she came to a path that she thought that she recognized. Since it was almost dark, she had more trouble recognizing places. She decided to rely on the compass and keep to the west. Not much later, she made a shocking discovery. At last, she knew for sure that she was on the right track to return home. She saw the sign for the parking lot. She only had another 1 kilometer through a dense patch of forest to get to the car. If only she could have been prepared for what was going to happen to her. As she continued on her way, she felt a sense of fear. The dark forest didn't help. She felt like they were being watched by something. When she heard a twig snap not far away, her feeling was confirmed, and she let out a scream of panic. When Cooper also started barking and pulling on the leash, Rachel knew that something was going on. She resolved to just keep walking, hoping to reach the parking lot quickly. Step by step, she walked on, but each step felt heavy and slow. She felt like they were being chased. When she glanced to the right, she saw a moving black shadow. She couldn't take it anymore and started running. In a panic, she let go of Cooper's leash, who luckily kept pace with her. At first, she didn't realize that when she started running, something else also started to move. While running, Rachel looked back frequently. She couldn't quite see what it was, but as she ran, she pleaded, "Please don't let it be a wolf." The end of the forest and the beginning of the parking lot was in sight. She was almost safe, but just before she got to the end, the shadow caught up to them. All she saw was a black shadow that looked just like the figure of a wolf. When they had caught up, she froze. The black shadow also stopped and stared quietly at Rachel and Cooper. She didn't know if it was a wolf, but she saw that it had a mouth with enormous teeth. Step by step, the dangerous animal came closer. It took a moment for Rachel to react, but then she heard yelling again. This time, she screamed for help. The animal seemed to get nervous about this and stopped walking. It also dropped something from its mouth, but Rachel only saw what it was after looking 3 times. The object that the beast had dropped from its mouth was a pine cone. Rachel looked around in amazement and couldn't understand the whole situation. Not much later, she heard the voice again, nearby this time. "Max, where are you?" the voice called out. When a man walked around the other side of a tree, all the pieces of the puzzle came together. The beast turned out to be just a normal dog with a pine cone in his mouth. The dog, named Max, had already started to return to his owner. It took Rachel a while to calm down completely, but she was very happy that she hadn't been in danger after all. The man apologized for his dog's behavior, and they walked to the parking lot together. Finally, Rachel and Cooper were back in the car to go home. Rachel had never experienced a hectic day like this before. After this bizarre day, she wanted nothing more than to go home as soon as possible. Nothing could make her day any longer. At least that's what she thought. Once she got home, she immediately noticed that something strange was going on. The whole house was decorated with lights, and a special path had been set out to the backyard. She decided to follow the lights, and there, she found a tired Tom, who had been waiting for her this whole time. But what was all this for? Tom had taken the kids to his parents, so they would finally have quality time, just the 2 of them. He apologized for his behavior, but insisted that he was not seeing anybody else, just working a lot. Tom said that he loved her as much as the moment they had met, which Rachel had secretly hoped to hear. "Did you see that this monster is not a monster, but a sweet dog with a pine cone in his mouth?" We also had to look 3 times before we realized it.